Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Veil, a show that provides insight into the world of weddings. I'm your host, Keith Willard. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about videography. Once I started looking back over the last 2.5 years of shows that we've been doing, this was one of those areas that we've actually never spoken about. And it shocked me because more now than ever, videography has become a major component in weddings. Just like photography, it's started to become a must-have in future weddings. So I am very excited because we have Paul Clark and Caleb Wesco who are going to be joining us shortly. But before I bring them on, let me introduce Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. As I tongue twist over that, don't you love that?
How are you today, Keith?
I'm good. I'm so excited because, this is one of those areas that we've never really talked about.
No, we haven't. It's such an unusual. I mean, in 3 years' time, I would have thought we would have covered everything, but we haven't.
And the thing is that because video has become such a big piece, like more and more people and more couples are considering it a must-have. I mean, it used to be you had to have entertainment, you had to have a venue, you had to have had photography, you had to have a DJ, right? And video was a maybe. Do we do video? Do we really want to spend that extra money? But more and more people are saying, no, that we have to have video.
You capture all those moments. Wow.
Right. And exactly, because photography only can take you so far when it comes to like the remembrance of your wedding. Mm-hmm. Plus, nothing says memories like a video on Instagram or your social media, because people feel like they are there, right?
Exactly. In the moment.
Yeah, I mean, a photo can, you can Photoshop the hell out of a photo and everybody looks amazing, but nothing says the truth like video, right?
Exactly.
Well, all right. So let me introduce, I know, I'm so excited. So let me introduce Paul Clark and Caleb Wesco. Paul Clark is an outstanding videographer who has made a name for himself in the industry for his high quality productions. Paul is a founder and CEO of Naji Designs, a company birthed due to the pandemic. With the inspiration to start his own business, Paul finally took the leap December of 2020 and hasn't looked back since. And let me tell you, he's done 3 of my weddings and believe me, has not looked back. Naji Designs has been featured on WPTV News Channel 5 for entrepreneurs upcoming in the midst of the pandemic, and has also produced high-level videos for City of Rivera, Loud Luxury, Mysikal. Oh, look at you put Keith Willard Events in there. I love you. Welcome to the show, Paul, and welcome to the show, Caleb. Hey, guys, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hey. How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
Oh, my goodness. We are so excited to have you on the show. Now, let me just say at the start that Brooke is not able to be part of the show today because she unfortunately is battling COVID, like a lot of people out there. So she really hated the fact that she wasn't going to be able to be part of the show. And so we're saying to Brooke, please get better quick.
Get better.
Yes, we want you on the show next week. So, anyway, so guys, I'm already a fanboy of you both, right? Because I know you're like, yay, because we just literally finished doing a wedding this last weekend with a celebrity, which was incredible and so much fun. So I want to give you an opportunity to talk about you and your company and how you got here.
Wow.
I know. Yeah. Big ask. Big ask.
All right. Let me see. Let me start from square one. I was working at a company and I was editing for this particular company. And I was given an ultimatum, right? When COVID hit, it gave, I think, everybody kind of like an ultimatum if they want to, because we didn't know what COVID was in the beginning. So it was either I'm going to keep going into an area, into a space where I'm going to be, exposed to COVID all the time, or I'm going to have to stay home and kind of figure that out.
Right.
And what I decided to do was to stay home and figure out exactly what I was going to do. Now, Caleb, he actually said something to the effect of, "Hey, man, I think the world needs videography." And I was like,
look at that. I mean, seriously, I mean, if you're like a lot of people out there and during COVID, we all had to do a little soul searching.
Yeah.
Like, are we really doing what we were meant to do? And do we really want to be stuck in this other job that we've been doing? And they do call it the mass resignation for a reason.
Right.
I mean, and you guys were like, okay, you know what? I'm done doing editing for this other company because I know I can do better.
Yeah.
I will say that. I know that you might politically correctly not be able to say that, but I will say that you were like, you know what? I can do this better. You know, I might not have to do so much editing if I knew if I could capture it better at the beginning.
Yeah.
Am I totally off track there?
No, you know, it's interesting because if I wasn't at that job, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now, right? That was kind of almost like the stepping stone.
Right.
I had to do the editing first in order to learn what camera angles to do and stuff like that, how to even use the camera. Like like in the beginning, it was like I didn't even know how to kind of use a camera, and I stayed up countless nights, countless days, and just on YouTube all the time. I went to YouTube University, graduated with my master's. It was like, you know what? So you know what? Let's do this. Let's actually do videography for West Palm and then for Florida. And it's been amazing ever since that day.
Now, so I understand that you guys started with an iPhone and then figured it out from there. And you know, they do all these amazing commercials on TV
100%
using the iPhone, like the newest iPhone, about like how you can really truly make amazing videos. I mean, what Taylor Swift did a whole video using nothing but an iPhone that was like massively popular, right? So you started there and then you went, we can do better.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What it is when it comes to that kind of videography with your phone, it's all about lighting and you just kind of just knowing what to do. But then after a while, it's like, let's actually invest some money into ourselves.
Right.
You know, let's actually do this. We can't play with this. We don't have plan B. This was plan A through Z was this. And we had to make it work. So we invested our money into ourselves. We got the cameras, we got the stabilizers, and we knocked on doors. Like that's something that a lot of people wasn't doing. They would just go on Instagram and, you know, DM people and stuff. And we were knocking on doors. We were opening doors. We were getting doors closed in our face. We was arguing with people. We was negotiating with people, and now we're here.
Oh my God! So here. Well, and so Caleb, I mean, when Paul first came to you with this idea, were you like, I need a steady income. I have a family, and I mean, was there that hesitancy of like, okay, or
definitely,
yeah, right? Because I know it was there for me. It was there for me,
right?
I mean, there was hesitation, big time, but then the thing is that Paul had a solid vision of what he wanted. And a lot of people that are, especially videographers that we're talking to videographers, it's one thing when you have, a vision, but then if you don't have a solid game plan, then that actually cause for a lot of failure. But Paul had a solid game plan of what he wanted to do. He wanted to go out, knock on doors, talk to strangers. Not only talk to strangers, but get involved with them. But the other thing that he said is this, and this was the thing that really had me buy into Paul. He said, bro, I can't do this by myself. For the videographers that are listening, you need a team. There's an acronym for team, TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. So
look at you.
If you want to go short ways,
just pull that out there. Let me just pull that out there. Yeah.
Nice but when he had that solid plan, he said, I can't do this alone. I was like, yo, I'm behind you 110%. And I'm so glad that he's done it because it's actually impacted my life and changed the things that I even do. So I'm following his lead. I'm hanging on his coattails. I'm like, feed me more of your magic.
Well, I have to say, one of the things that I really love about your artistry, because it really is art, what you do. And I don't think that a lot of people give it the like what it really is due. Because so let me go back. I mean, one of the things I really love about what you do is that it doesn't look like every other video. Like when I look at other wedding videos, I hear Canon D in the background and kissies and I'm like, okay, you could literally step and repeat and see the same video next and next and next. Right. And to me, that doesn't say couple, right? It doesn't have any personality of the couple in there.
No
it
magic.
Just has right? No magic, no
Right.
magic. And one of the things that I really loved about what you guys did is that every single video is totally unique.
Yeah.
It's like
That's true.
you stopped and went, okay, we met this couple, we talked to them, we know what they're like, we know that they bitch and fight at each other, at each other in the background,
Mhm.
so their life isn't perfect, and so let's not make the video so Disney-esque, right? Because that's not really them. Let's make
Right.
it fun, let's make it interesting, let's make it joyous, but let's take out the fantasy a little bit and make it a little bit more real.
Oh, yeah.
And it the product is freaking fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
That was awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, was that a decision from the beginning, like to do that, or did you look at other videographers and say, that's really what we need, that's where we should end up being, or did you say, this is our own thing?
I can brag on Paul right quick. Paul won't say it, so I'm going to brag.
Here
on
we
him.
go.
Good.
He was like, yo, I want to be different. I want people to know who we are. I want people to, to see our video and look at everybody else. It's like, yo, those guys are different. So I was like, yo, how do we do it? And the biggest thing is that when Paul said that he graduated with a master's from YouTube University, I mean, if that was a thing, that is true. 2:00 in the morning, he's like, yo, watch this video. He'll send me like 8 videos. I'm like, have you watched this? I'm like, Paul, I can't watch all these videos.
That's funny.
But he's so passionate about what he does. And
Right.
with him being so passionate about what he does, he always challenges himself to create something better than the last time. And a lot of time people, they try to be better than their competition. But with Paul tries to be better than his last video. He competes against himself. So when we're on a shoot, I give my 110% because I know, the CEO, this guy right here,
Right.
He's gonna come with some fire and he's gonna expect me to do the same thing. So did he start off that way? Yeah. Is he still doing it? Yeah. Every video is different from the last.
But okay, so what goes into a good video? What are the core components when you're meeting with a client for the first time? I've got multiple questions kind of in my head, but of course, how I am. But what are some questions that you think clients should be asking when they are looking for a videographer and looking to produce a video that is totally them, totally unique, totally them? I know I kind of put you on a little spot there, but I mean, what's a question that you wish that couples would ask you that you're like, oh my God, please, just one question, please. Let me just, make me feel like you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I think a good question that I'm learning now is almost like why. Like, what's your why, right? Like, why do you want this video? Why is this
great question?
Right, like why is this important to you? Because the thing that I always imagine is that moment where you get older and you run into that USB that's like underneath all this dirt and underneath all this clutter, and then you're like, what's this? And then you put it into your computer and it's like this random video that's 10 minutes long or 15 minutes long.
Right.
And then you look at it and it's like, wait, this is my wedding. Then you sit down with your significant other and you're watching it, and I'm even getting goosebumps even thinking about it. But you watch it and then you get teary-eyed, or you remember that love from that day, and you see family members that maybe you don't see anymore. Oh man, I haven't contacted cousin Gary in a while. Right. Then you contact him because of that video.
Right.
That's the recreation. I want to recreate that moment with everybody.
That's
every time.
I love that you said that. I totally love it. I mean, I look back at our video now, and there are people that are no longer with us. And I think you don't get to see that in a picture. You get, when you watch a video, you can see their mannerisms, you can see their style, you can see it so much more than a picture.
Yeah.
So, and I love the fact that you said that you basically went from the back end to the front end, so to speak, because it gave you some knowledge that most people don't even think about needing beforehand.
Yep. Right, exactly. And like even like an example, Caleb and I, we flew to Chicago to do a wedding, and the one thing that he said, my grandmother's gonna be there, and I don't know how much longer she's gonna be with us, so I just want you to interview her. And we sat down, we interviewed her, and it was hilarious. We learned a whole bunch of stuff about this guy that we didn't know.
That's
And
awesome.
and there's moments like that where years down the road where you look at that video and you see what your grandmother thought of you, and you know how she was laughing and stuff like that, and you can cherish those moments. That's what a video will always have over a picture, I feel like.
Well, and that is so true, because you know a picture doesn't have words or personality attached to it.
Yeah.
And you know, and I love the fact that you said, look, you know, she's going to say things now that you're going to want to remember and see and hear years down the road when she's no longer part of it. I mean,
feel that emotion.
So that Nigerian wedding we did like a month and a half ago, I mean, that video was ridiculously good. I have to tell you, I mean, I watched it as an outsider, and I actually got a little teary-eyed, and I thought, oh my God, this is really good. And I don't even, I'm not even part of the family, you know. but it was some of those interviews that were included, and some of those words that were said during the ceremony, and you know, and when you got the two mothers speaking at the same time during this, I mean, I was like, oh my God, that's not something that a photograph could really capture.
Right.
The awesome thing about photography is that, you know, it's a team effort, and you get that moment where it's frozen in time. You get that smile, you get that feeling. But you know, when it comes to video, we all have our favorite movie. My favorite movie, I have to admit, my favorite movie is Lion King. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for Disney, but my favorite movie is Lion King. I can watch Lion King over and over and over again.
Right.
And when Paul and I started, we really sat down and was like, what do we really want to do? What we really want to do is create not only a video, but an experience for our customers.
Yeah.
So when we create that experience for the customer, Lion King doesn't have to be their favorite movie, or Breaking Bad is not their favorite episode or anything like that. What is your favorite video of my wedding, of my quinceañera, of, you know, me graduating, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is not just to shoot a video, but to create an experience.
Well, and you made me laugh a little earlier when you said, "Oh, you know, I found this USB drive below all my paperwork." I mean, I'm old enough to remember VHS, where you would find an old VHS tape with the labels, the beta. Oh my God, Betamax. Go a little back. Anyway, you know,
my brother-in-law still has one.
But you know, with the label kind of half peeled. But even that, there's some nostalgia that comes into play with that, the idea of watching the video. But you know, a lot has changed between now and then. What do you think, you know, is something that is a big difference between the old days of capturing a wedding and the new? Like, what really is a different kind of ask from your clients that you think was not an ask in the past?
Let me think.
Would it be editing? Like, you know, because now that Instagram has become such a big piece of our world.
Yeah. I'd say the Instagram, TikTok, it's just taken over the world.
Yeah.
It's like now people want those long videos that they can appreciate for themselves, but then of course they have to show it off to their friends.
Right.
Of course, for the people that weren't there, that they just want to make a little jealous. All right, hey man, here's a little here's a 15-second video of how everything went down. Here's a 1-minute video of how everything went down.
All right.
So they want to tease.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So yes, no, we run into that more often than we don't, which is those Instagram videos and those TikTok videos, which is like the high energy music, like you know, make sure you catch the best moments, the highlight reels. Every human being wants that now.
Because and you know, the thing is that a good TikTok video or a good Instagram video is very different than a home video.
Yes.
Where, you know, you have the wedding experience. So do you find that clients are looking for multiple kinds of videos? Like they say, you know what, we want you there for 18 hours. Yes, totally making that up. Not 18 hours, but you know, I want you there from the moment I was birthed into this world until the moment you know. But then I want you to edit it down to 3 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
What? I mean, you just kind of go, okay, what do I do? Okay. That's a lot of footage. But, you know, I mean, but it is true. I mean, that's what clients are asking of you. They're asking of you to edit down, you know, 8 hours, 6 hours of their day into a 2-minute, 3-minute highlight video. Plus then maybe, let's say, a 6-minute Facebook video, and then like what, a 20-minute home video? I mean, is that kind of like averages? Am I speaking averages here?
Yeah, no, you are speaking like you are a client, honestly.
I'm a wedding planner, you know.
Yeah, right. They do ask for a lot. They ask for raw footage. They ask for all kinds of stuff, and it's like, you know, I think that's what's great about videography. It's the same thing with photography, right? With photography, you can get like the raw images and stuff like that, but you can keep on reusing videos. You can edit it in a different way. You can put different music to the same video and have a whole nother feel.
Totally different.
You know, so now instead of it being romantic and slow, now it's a little bit faster paced. Now it's poppy. Now, you know, and that's what I think the beauty is with video. Is that you can keep doing it and keep tailoring it to whoever you want to see it. It's like, okay, I want it to be faster for my younger crowd. Boom, here it is right here. Slower for my older crowd. Boom, here it is right there. And you can just do that all the time with video. Video is awesome.
Yeah. What about the embarrassing moments? I mean, because, you know, one of the things I know this is and I'm not going to put you in a corner about like what the most embarrassing thing that you've ever seen. Maybe I do want to ask that. But you know, I mean, it's kind of like a photographer. A photographer says typically after dinner they'll capture like 20 minutes of the dance session and then they're out, you know, or cake cutting. They'll do cake cutting and then they're out because nobody wants to like take photos of somebody getting wasted. Right. And it happens at every wedding. I mean, you know, as video people, I mean, you have the ability to record very sensitive moments.
Yeah.
Both good and bad. I mean, there may be a time that, you know, Uncle Fester and Aunt May get into a big old fight because, you know, Uncle Fester's not supposed to be drinking or smoking pot or one of those things, and you've now captured it, and they're like, "Can I get a copy of that video?" You're like, you know, the camera wasn't on. It wasn't on during that time. But you know, I mean, but there's some sensitive stuff that goes on. I mean, I'm assuming that as videographers, you have to know your client really well.
Yep. Yeah.
So what's the process of getting to know a client?
I just say just being around them, talking to them, just honestly, it's all about having conversation. Right. That's what it's all about. If you're personable, if you can sit there and you can laugh and joke and kind of just gauge them, you know, that's what we have to kind of do. As unfortunate as it is, you kind of have to prejudge a little bit, but then you have to really get in there and gauge exactly what that person is. If that person is serious, you do not want to put any of those embarrassing moments of them like maybe spilling something on their body or ripping clothes or whatever. You do not want to put that on the video if they're serious. But if they're jovial and they're fun and they're having a good time, and they've shown you that side where they're just like, man, I do not care. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. Well, then, you know, you can put those moments in there and they'll laugh at it. It'll have a little charm to it. That's like, okay, they will appreciate it. Maybe not somebody looking from the outside in, but they will absolutely appreciate that video. So.
and don't you want to capture those moments though, that like when you've got like a family member who may be doing some really fun dance moves that nobody hasn't seen in a long time, and like you get those on video. And those are the ones that you want to highlight.
100%. Like
I love that. I have like pictures of.
We have one that Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I mean,
oh no! I'm thinking Elaine dance. I'm totally thinking Elaine dance. You know.
Oh my.
Right.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
That's
you know,
funny.
do you find that you have a lot of that on the editing floor, so to speak, that you know, you're like, oh dang, I really wish I could include this, but I know this couple and that's not gonna be something they really want to remember.
Yes, that does happen a lot. And like I said, it's moments like that where you have to really go back into your mind palace and say, all right, do I remember how they were acting? Do I remember how they were?
Yeah.
And then it's okay. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put that in there, or you will put it in there, because at the end of the day, what I really think it is when it comes to like weddings and stuff like that, it's all about family. It's all about this is going to be the moment that you remember for the rest of your life. Right. So
it's true.
So you want to have people doing fun stuff. You know, you want to have people smiling, and even if you have those little embarrassing moments, you can make it cool in a video. Right. You know, because it's not as a videographer, as an editor, you don't allow the video to control you. You control the video. You control the emotion. You know,
is there like a formula or something where you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to make this, this is my footage and I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to make a video out of it. Is there a maximum amount of time that you try to squeeze in so that it doesn't become too big or too small?
This might sound weird, all right, and maybe it's something I could get better at, but like if I'm editing a video, right, I want to watch it. Me personally, if the video, and I'm a very emotional person, so if the video doesn't make me cry, then it's not doing its job. Like if I'm not crying and sitting there bawling and wife asking me what's going on, and I'm like, I can't talk about it. If I'm not doing that with the video, then I have to start over. And I have to get the video, no matter what length it is. If I think that 3 minutes is good, I will send it to them. Is 3 minutes okay for you? And they'll say yay or nay. You know what? No, we want it a little bit longer. We want to capture more moments, and I'll do that. I will make it longer. But to me, I need the video to make me feel an emotion.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to get bored watching it.
Yeah.
If I can add just a little bit onto that, I had no idea what Paul was talking about when he said, I want to feel the video. I was just like, bro, you're a big crybaby. You're a big crybaby. I don't understand what you're saying. But we shot a film. Well, not a film. We shot a video, and I had the responsibility of editing it, and it was going over pretty much someone's life. Now, mind you, this isn't somebody that I know like that, but as I'm editing and stuff, I start crying in front of the screen because I'm like, yo, like this is somebody's life. This is somebody's accomplishments. And look at how happy they are. And look at how sad they are. And as videographers, you have to almost treat videography like acting. You get into the character, and you get so into the character that the people can't tell, okay, are you Jim Carrey or are you the character? Are you Naji Design, or are you part of the family? And when you edit it like that, that's when you can make someone cry. You can make someone smile. You can cause a goosebumps by the raising of the music. You can cause somebody to grab some tissues when you bring in the strings and stuff. When you really think of it like that, people don't see that it's an art. So when we create it, we are actually in the moment. We're reliving the moment again. So by the time we give it back to you, you're just like the moment times 10. And crying in front of and while you're editing on Final Cut and Premiere Pro, it's a real thing, guys.
I love that. I love, and what's interesting is I can really feel the passion that you have for your artistry when you're talking about this, because it's one of those things that when I think couples think about videography, they don't think about everything that you just spoke about. They don't think about the emotion, the memories, the opportunity to capture people in a way that photography just can't. And and that sometimes is a really difficult thing for me to get across to a client when they say, well, what do you think about videography? I'm like, no, it's a must-have. You need to have video. And they're like, well, but our budget's a little tight. And I'm like, you will kick yourself forever if you do not include some video. You need to include some video. And then of course everybody goes, well, what if we just zoom it?
Oh no!
Hold on. Let me just knock myself.
Let somebody else in the family or friends video it, which is not
with their iPhone.
They're not being present.
Yes, because I think that what we're missing here then is the editing process. How long does it take you to typically edit a normal, let's say, average wedding? 8 hours of capturing, right? How long does that typically take in editing? And I don't mean to put you on the board, so to speak, about this, because obviously every client is different, and every project will have a different amount. But on average, are we talking a week, 3 weeks? I mean, because you have to sit there and look through every minute, right?
Yeah, exactly. Every single moment you have to look through, because you might have accidentally caught something amazing and not even known it. And what I do normally, it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And the reason why is because now what I'm doing is I'm kind of slowing down with my editing, because I want to look at it with fresh eyes. They say like when you're painting something and you're looking at a painting, you have to give yourself a break. You have to step back from it and you have to look at it again a day or two later and see if you still feel the same way that you did 2 days ago. So the same thing is with editing. What I'm doing is I'm using my computer mouse as almost a paintbrush. And when I'm looking at the stuff, I might feel a certain kind of way. And the thing about it is that I'm human, right? So I might feel a certain emotion right then and there.
Right.
And then 2 days later, I might have calmed down from that emotion, or I might be even more emotional, put even more emotional things in the video. So you have to, and then you have to watch it. You know, they say that your first edit is never going to be good.
That's right.
So you have to go through the 15-minute video, watch it to its completion. And then from there say, okay, was that like, did I like that video? Then you show it to people that you care about, like what they think about.
Right.
Like, how do you feel about this? Tell me your first emotions. And if they're like, I don't like this part, I don't like that part. And then it kind of like feeds into the thing. Like, you know what? You're right. I don't like that part either. Let me go back into it and then do it again. So that's why it takes a little bit longer. Like I said, like 2 to 3 weeks to do a wedding video.
And I love what I'm hearing here is that, you know, you take your ego out of the process.
Yeah.
100%.
It's like, right. It's almost like you almost have to be like, I'm a third person part of this, and I need to get other people's perspective in here to really understand that this is a good video. And again, I feel like this artistry that you're talking about is so different than photography, because photography, you're looking for that one moment. You know, you have the veil flying in the background, the lighting is just perfect, but it's a moment. It's a moment in time. It's one snapshot, which, you know, a lot can be done with Photoshop to make that one moment in time perfect. I don't think video has the same opportunity.
Right, exactly. You have to nail your focus. You have to be good at taking a video, first of all. So you have to make sure when that moment is happening that the lighting is just right, that you're, like I said, like you're nailing the focus. Your ISO is correct. Like when it comes to the just the technological part of it, you have to make sure that's right. And then once that moment is gone, it's like, okay, I hope I got it in focus. I hope I did it right. I hope the colors were correct. I hope the white balance wasn't off. Like, you have to worry about all of that kind of stuff inside of a video. And then afterwards, now you have to worry about, okay, the color grade, right? And the color grade is a whole nother process that you have to go through. And then, do I want to put a speed ramp here, or do I want to zoom in here, or what's, you know, you have to go through all these different processes in your brain when you're doing video, because
and you're doing it and you're doing it weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend, project after project after project after project. You know, so what do you say about because now obviously technology has gotten to a whole different level, and there are all sorts of online programs and software programs that allow people to edit stuff themselves. But I don't think that people truly understand how much effort and time it takes until they do it themselves. I mean, I remember when I first opened my business, you know, 6 years ago, you know, and zero money, had to like figure out, and I was trying to take a whole bunch of my previous photos and turn it into like a 15-second ad that I could have up on Facebook rotating and stuff. I wanted to shoot myself. I was like, fade in, fade out, and it wasn't, and those were still photos that I was turning into a slideshow, and I wanted to smack myself because I thought, oh my god, okay, there's so much happening here, you know, and so I can't even imagine what it takes in order to capture the essence of people in front of you. Now, one of the things that I found fascinating is that you guys don't use additional lighting at your events, and I am so used to videographers with these big blinding spotlights on either side of the dance floor, and you know, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's 2 a.m.
and people trip over them.
And the club lights are on. Oh my god,
right.
But you guys don't use those lights.
I'd say that the reason why is because, like you said, people trip over lights. They're blinding, and it might make you uncomfortable every once in a while. But when people are in the moment, right? They're singing, they're eating, they're doing all this kind of stuff. you don't want to mess up those moments by having somebody having to worry about, is that light gonna fall on me? And they always have that weird insecurity in the back, like, oh God, I don't know. I gotta look back. Hey, how come you're not having fun, Johnny? Oh, because of this light behind me. I have no idea. You might be obscuring somebody's view. You never know what those lights are doing. So instead, what you do is you just learn your camera. If you just learn your camera, you understand its limitations, and you'll be able to shoot in those rooms that might be completely purple. or it might be orange and blue. You'll be able to.
Oh, that happens a lot, by the way. Uplighting, you know, because uplighting, it really does. It turns a room purple. But you know, but I can't even tell you how many times I've had a videographer put these big blinding spotlights, and I'm always like, "Can you please turn those off?" People, you know, they want to start dancing. But I love the fact that you said you got to know your equipment.
Right.
You got to, because there's a way to capture it without the big ass spotlight in the background.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you first.
For videographers, and this is something I had to learn while, you know, working you know, in Naji Designs, is that, you know, there's a saying that says you have to practice when no one is watching. So when everyone is watching, you make it look easy. Now, what in the world does that mean towards videography? When there's not a wedding, you got to pull out your camera. When there's not an event, you have to be shooting in the background. Like I said, Paul sends me videos all the time, studying your equipment, practicing on, you know, your gimbal and the rotations and stuff, because you never want to practice at a wedding. You never want to practice at an event, because then after that may cause you to miss the kiss or miss the shot or whatever that is. You get your equipment and you know your equipment so well that even if something goes wrong, you're already trained in the back of your mind that, okay, hey, my gimbal just died. Now I got to go handheld. Oh, you know, I'm you know, I'm shaky and everything. Okay, now I got to do this way. Paul's moving to the left. Okay, I have to move to the right. Those are things that people don't see. But then when they see how fluently that we move throughout the floor, we're never in each other's shot, they're like, where does that come from? It all goes back to videographers that are either listening, you know, to this, or you're thinking about getting into videography. Practice when no one is watching. So when everyone is watching, you make it look easy.
That's amazing. I had to tell you. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, funny story. I could tell you a real funny story. It's actually Caleb and I's first wedding. That we shot and that we shot together. It was two moments. One moment was magical. One moment was hilarious. The doors open and the people are coming down the aisles. Right. The bridesmaids and the grooms. That, you know, they're all coming down. And my camera on my Ronin. On my stabilizer turns upside down. So it flipped upside down, and I'm sitting here like, what is going on? So I'm hitting all kind of buttons on my stabilizer. Nothing is fixing it. So I shot the entire ceremony and everything like that upside down.
No.
No, it was an easy fix because you could just rotate it, you know.
But
it was super, like I said, it was super embarrassing for me because, you know, I'm the professional on the shoot. Then I promised myself right then and there, I said, this will never happen again. You'll never see my running upside down me recording again. And the second thing that with our first wedding, how I knew that Caleb was gonna be my second shooter forever to the day I die.
I hear a salary increase in your future.
Oh yeah.
Not to put you on the spot or anything. I'm just saying. He said forever. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true.
Forever comes with a price point.
But we were, you know, it was the reception and people were coming out. They was doing that extravagant. You know, everybody gets the announcement, hey, it's so and so, and they come through and they're dancing, they have their sunglasses on. And I remember Caleb and I, we were moving around, we were rotating around everybody, we were rotating around each person, and it felt like we were moving, like we had string in between the two of us. And I was just like, what is happening? And he was never in my shot, and I was never in his shot. And I said, oh yeah, Caleb's my guy. And this was our first wedding that we ever shot together. So the nerves, the palms were sweaty, the knees was weak, everything. It was really, it was unbelievable. And
you never forget your first. You never, you know, you never forget your first, because it's just one of those moments. It's like, oh, please God, do not let me fuck this up.
Right. Yeah.
You know, please do not let me F this up. Oh my God. I mean, and it is. And then to the the amount of work that you put into that product, it's almost like couples smell blood in the water, because they'll be like, oh, let me see what I can get from these guys. Okay,
Right.
I smell nervousness in the water. So I bet you that first wedding was like crazy. Well, okay, so one of the things that we dealt with this last weekend is that we were working with a celebrity as part of this wedding, and this is the Caleb Westerman wedding at the Ritz-Carlton. And this couple was just amazing. I just love them so much. I just honestly, they were
sweet guys.
I'm almost teary about the fact that they were just such nice guys, and the fact that they had the foresight to bring in a comedian that is really well known to not roast their guests, but to roast themselves, and right, and to have some fun with this. But working with a comedian or working with a celebrity is sometimes difficult, because they have different needs and different wants than what the couple is dealing with. So, is there a politically, do you have to get political sometimes and how you speak to somebody, being politically correct when it comes to a celebrity? Or, are there things that need to be signed off on? Is there, I'm sure that there's a whole other thing that happens when having to figure out if you can include a celebrity into the editing process of the couple's wedding.
You go first, and then I'll go, because
what I was going to say is going to be different than you, because what I was personally going to say was, now this is just me speaking for myself. I don't know what anybody else has gone through in their lives, but I know me speaking for myself, I haven't run into an issue yet. We come off so, I don't know what it is about us, but I think that even when we sat down with the comedian in the room, we were just chatting. We didn't even realize what was going on. We was like, it was just a regular person to us, we're sitting there, we're laughing, joking, he was cracking on us, and we're like, okay, this is awesome. And then everyone was like, oh, it's you. And I was like, wait, what?
I know. It really was
you
that
didn't
moment.
Know he was a celebrity.
No.
No.
That's too funny.
Yeah. We had zero idea. No.
But
And by the way, this is Bob the Drag Queen, who was season 8 RuPaul's winner, by the way, who was awesome as a human being, and you would have never guessed in a million years that this is a celebrity because of just how cool they were. They were just so cool. But so go ahead.
But anytime that Caleb and I don't know if it's his personality, I don't know if it's his glasses, I don't know what it is, but
it's glasses.
But whenever we run into celebrities, it's a real thing. There's never any anxiety. There's never any hey, you can't do that. You can't use that. Everyone is always please send us the video when you're done. You guys are amazing. You guys are funny. You guys made the party. We hear that so many more times than we do. You can't use that footage. I refuse. So, and I think it's because of our personalities, the way that we carry ourselves in the space. It's not we have personalities of a wet napkin or a wet towel. We present ourselves I guess. I could only imagine. I don't really know how we present ourselves, but
I think it's because you're flexible. I feel like, now that we've done multiple events together and we've had a couple of celebrity interactions with you guys in the room. So I get to talk about you guys from a third person point of view. You don't come across as absolute. You don't come across as, okay, this is the only way we do it, and that's it, and you have to fit into our box. We were very much tell us what we need to do in order to make you comfortable, and how do we best capture you for this event. And that puts people at ease, because at the end of the day, a celebrity is really worried about how they're going to come across on social media later afterwards as well, and they don't want a picture or a video of them using the restroom or eating something bad, or taking a shot in the background. That's not the thing that they want to see. And so you guys instill a bit of confidence. But Caleb, you were going to say something?
Actually, and this shows for videographers, like I said, if you're listening, you want to be videographers, it takes time to build this kind of chemistry, because literally what Paul was saying was exactly what I was getting ready to say. Is that we just treat people like people. At the end of the day, you may have more zeros in the bank account than I do, currently, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I want you to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to feel comfortable when the video's in your face.
Right.
So in order for that, I'm going to take some time to, okay, you're the talent for the day. Yay, what's up? How you doing? And they're like, oh, they're not asking for my picture. They're not asking for my autograph. They're treating me like a person.
Right.
And then when you treat them like a person, because we've worked with, I want to say about like 6 celebrities so far, if I'm not mistaken. When you treat them like a person, it's funny that they want you now to shoot for them and blah, blah, blah. You're like, well, we live over here and you live over there.
Right.
We'll talk about that later. But
so fly us in,
Yeah, I mean, but when you treat people like people, and the other thing is that I've seen a lot of videographers that, when they go to an event, they want to be the ghost. They're like, I'm not seeing her. But we are totally different. We get in, we dance with the people on the dance floor. We're in with the family and stuff. So by the time we leave, again, it goes back to creating that experience. The celebrity has had the experience. The family has had the experience. And they say, yo, those guys, they're like family. If you as a videographer can leave an event feeling like family for the celebrity or the guest you're shooting,
right,
know that you made an impact.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a big part of it. I think that, when you're involved in a wedding, not coming across as a third person, and feeling like you are actually, you belong there, and having that confidence to say, yes, we are an integral part of capturing this event, and we want to be a part of everybody's experience. I think that goes a long way, but that's not something that a lot of people have. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of videographers over the years, and there are many times that they separate themselves, not just in how they pose themselves with the other guests, but just how they speak to other guests.
Right.
I mean, they're almost afraid to talk to the guest, and I'm like, I need you to interact because you need to tell them what they need to be doing.
But there's an authenticity there that if you can let your guard down and be part of the moment with them, they're going to be part of the moment to give you back.
Marcy hit it right on the head.
Yeah,
I know,
seriously.
right?
Yeah.
So how do you decide on music and background kind of stuff? Do you listen to the because I know you talked earlier about the fact that you look at your videos individually, and that if it doesn't make you cry, then it's not good, and that you ask for third person perspectives on your videos. But music is a big piece of this.
Yes.
How do you figure out? I mean, there are millions, billions of songs out there, and everything from instrumentals to, I was going to say the funky Comedina. Oh my God. I don't know why that song went in my head, but I mean, but you know what I mean? There's like everything to like crazy.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I mean,
how do you figure out like what kind of music to put with a video?
If you realize, look at Paul. He's grown up. He's smiling. He's rubbing his head. This is his thing. I'm sorry to anybody on the podcast. This is probably going to go another hour because this is Paul's thing. So,
I love this.
Go ahead.
So when I was
always wondered about that question, Keith. That's a question.
Right? Like, how do you figure it out?
All right, so music. No, I listen to so much music, and just like I say with the video, you can ask any editor, right? When I was learning editing, whatever it is, music is the hardest thing to find in any video edit, right? So you have, like you said, millions of songs, and what I try to do is I try to look at the footage that I think is going to make an impact, and I start playing songs to that footage, and I'll hear different things like, oh, okay, there's strings here. That seems powerful.
Right.
It seems like when they're coming down the aisle, put some strings in. Oh, the drums are hitting here. Okay, let's bring, maybe some people dancing to the drums.
Right.
Maybe, but it's all about musicality. But I can't even go into it because I can't go into it because I've done so much studying. It's like it's so hard to kind of explain it, but in its simplest form, right? You just got to know how to dance, man.
It almost sounds like, right. Well, you know what it sounds like. It almost comes across as a psychic ability. To be honest, because there aren't millions of songs to choose from. And then, you know, you and the fact that you really love music and that you listen to a lot of it and across multiple kinds, right? That to me, it makes sense that as an artist, you are looking at something and you go, and you know, you may be reaching back to, you know, when you were 8 years old and you were like, oh wait, I know this song. And I think that would be amazing here. You know,
you know what I kind of compare it to? This might, I don't want to compare myself to this person, but if you could imagine Picasso, right?
Yeah.
And why did Picasso put the person's nose on their eye and their eye on their mouth, right? Like, why would you do that? Why are you using these particular strokes?
Right.
It's just like a thing. Like when you're in the flow of it, it's almost like, you ever seen the movie Soul? Is that the movie?
Oh, wait,
So,
the Pixar movie?
The Pixar movie Soul.
Yes.
That speaks to me. It resonates with me so much because when you go into that place that they call the zone, right? When you go into the zone, you just start feeling stuff like legitly, like music notes. You start seeing the video, like legitly, like the wedding that we just did. I already know what that video is gonna look like. I already have it in my brain. I have it in my mind. You gave me a couple of cues. It's like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna do for this wedding.
Right,
you know?
right.
So when it's the feeling that I have, it's when I'm there and I'm shooting it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the angle I've always wanted to get. I seen it in this one movie. I seen it in this YouTube video. Oh, I know what to do. You know, so when I hear the songs, it's in a lot of people will tell you it's usually the first song that you hear. Right. Like it's the first song that you hear that's always the best one. And then you go through a whole bunch of other ones.
And then you go back to the original.
Then you go back to the original one.
Yep.
And it's so crazy.
The other thing is this, that you do music, but then Paul, again, he can go on about this. And this is something that he really elevated my game on. It's the music, but then after that, we go back and then we add sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Like the music may be boom, 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 boom. It's like, okay, we have boom, boom, boom going on, but now we have them walking outside. What sound effect do we need? We need birds. We need wind. We need a whoosh. If it's going from, you know, boom, boom, it's like picture showing, bom, 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 picture showing, bom, bom, bom. All of a sudden we need, there's fire in the shot. What does fire sound like? And not only what does fire sound like, but if we can't find a fire sound, now we got to turn on the stove, put our mic to boiling water, and create a fire sound. That all goes in the video. So I mean, a lot of times people just see the video, but they don't understand. There's music, there's rhythm in your video, there's sound effects, there's coloring. Then after that, there's the emotion of the person that created it. That's why videographers get so hurt when people like, I don't like it. Like, no, we're into this.
You're like, I put my heart and soul.
Like it's layering up, and you're like, it's like it's like definitive as to bringing that art together, layer after layer after layer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of investment of your emotion and your time.
It really is. I mean, there is a lot of yourself that goes into every single video.
You
know,
really
I mean, I say that all the time when I plan weddings. I mean, there is a little part of my soul that goes into every single event that I plan. And it is a very personal experience for me. I mean, if it's not absolutely perfect, I mean, I will, you know, I say this all the time. I said, I'll draw blood before I let a wedding fail. I mean, seriously, I will give my soul to the devil to be like, you know, hey, make this wedding amazing kind of thing.
Can I brag on you right quick?
No. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Guys, let me tell you, when we did this last wedding, Keith told me what was coming. He said, let me tell you, lasers are going to come out. I'm like, yeah, right, lasers. And I have in my mind what's getting ready to happen. And then Keith stops me. He said, no, you don't understand. I'm like, okay. He says, there's going to be a wall that doesn't look like a wall, but it is a wall. And then the wall is just going to open up. Fog is going to pour through the wall. And then after that, there's going to be lasers on the ceiling. I'm like, Keith, that's not going to happen. And exactly what Keith said, it happened. What happened. The wall just appeared out of nowhere. It opens up, smoke's coming through the wall. Then to make things better, the wedding party was so excited. They were the first one in the room, and as we're going into the room, the smoke's coming, then the lasers meet them. I'm like, Keith, what in the world? And he's like, I told you.
But Keith, But
I
see,
told
right
you.
there, when the groom jumped up and ran, and
Dion
he
was
in
the best.
yeah,
Dion was the best.
The wall splits open. He's there in a pose. The lasers are coming out. That's a magic moment.
It is
for
a magic
video.
moment. I'm telling you.
wait
And
to see this
Marcy, and you know this couple. You know this couple, and you know how fabulous they are.
Marcy, let me tell you, Keith did his
Oh,
thing.
Yeah.
He told
Oh my
us.
God.
Yeah.
But when we saw it, we were like, Keith, you did that. I had to shake his hand.
No. But you know, a lot of that is absolutely has to do with the couple, because
I was just gonna say that
it wouldn't have happened if they weren't 100% bought into the whole idea, right? They had to be 100%. Yeah, so they had to really trust in the vision that we had. And let me tell you, this couple didn't have a lot of they didn't have a lot of knowledge of what was going to happen, except some basic hallmarks. I mean, that takes a lot of trust, to be honest, guys. And that's the other thing. So that gets to my kind of final point as we kind of get to the wrap up of the hour is trust. You know, I mean, how do you build that trust with your client to get to a point that you say, look, trust me, I know what I'm doing. I will make sure that your wedding is amazing, and I'm going to capture it. Absolutely. I mean, because the enthusiasm, the joy that you have expressed on this program has been incredible. And I appreciate that. Mean, I am totally bought into y'all, even more so than I was before. But I mean, it's obvious how much you love what you do. So is this kind of a typical how you, when you start to talk to new clients, like this is kind of how you start talking to them and you start getting animated and you start thinking, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's you know.
Well, what it is just like,
can I do it right quick?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here it is. Let's get motivated. All right, here we go. So when we talk to customers, we legitly, we try to paint the picture. Yeah. But not only paint the picture, but we really just invest our energy in it, because that first what did they say? The first impression is always the one that you remember, right? Yes. So we had one customer, and I kid you not, this is it, Paul is my witness, this happened. This guy, he was like, I don't know if I want to do video and stuff. And all of a sudden I said, typical question. Yeah. He's like, let me tell you something. I said, do you want this to be a great experience? He said, yes. I said, do you want this to be a magic moment? He says, yes. Yeah. And I told him, I says, well, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, everything that you desire for this video and for your business, you can have it. Why are we the best people to do this video? Is because we care not only about this video, we care about the experience and what it has to offer to the audience. And I was like,
drop, I know, right? Drop that mic. And my God.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we don't just say that just to say that, but we really feel that. And then when we show up to your event, that same energy that you had in the sale is the same energy that we bring on set.
That's amazing. I love the fact that you just brought that up and you just totally put him out there. I love it. So now, Paul, if you don't give that speech to every single future client I bring you,
oh my God.
I'm gonna be like, sorry, what's happening here? Where's my speech? Where's my speech?
I got you. Remember, this is too hard.
Oh my God. No, I mean, seriously, I mean, but it really does say a lot about how much you love what you do. And I think that, you know, this is going to be one of those mediums that people will absolutely need moving forward. I mean, we are getting to a point in the world that video is as important, if not more important, than photography.
Yes.
At the end of the day, because to be able to capture the emotion, to capture loved ones that may not be around, you know, to be able to say things to the couple that the couple could then, you know, play back years from now, you know, that's going to become more and more and more important. I mean, you know, especially during COVID, Zoom and all of these online platforms became so important to all of us to be able to reconnect. And I think that's overflowing into the idea of video needed for weddings. You know, more and more people are understanding the importance of having it. And so I think that, and you guys expressed it beautifully. So I just want to thank both of you for being on the program. I mean, that is our hour, guys.
Oh
I
my
told
gosh,
you
no.
I told you it's going to go by so quick, and you're going to be like, well, in a blink. Oh my goodness.
So sad. Oh,
yeah, you're like, damn it. And we had so much more to talk about. No, but seriously, I mean, the passion and the joy that you guys exude when it comes to talking about your craft, and and I love the fact that you gave our listeners some very important pieces and tips to be able to help them decide for future things about whether or not even to have videography is a big piece. So thank you both for being on the show. Obviously, Paul Clark is the CEO of Naji Designs, and Caleb Wesco is his second in command that's going to get a raise shortly.
Oh yes, raises are coming.
You heard him.
And then Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy and Keith Willard. I just want to say thank you to everybody. We will see you next Tuesday here at 2:00. And we have Nora Shields with Rock, Paper, Coin. Oh my God, she's amazing. You're going to love talking to her. She was on a year ago. She started a website a payment system that is amazing for vendors. And you two actually need to be a part of Rock, Paper, Coin. I'm just
definitely.
You definitely have. It really does.
Both of us use it.
Oh, we do. And it simplifies the whole process with our clients. Anyway, so next Tuesday, Nora Shields with Rock, Paper, Coin is going to be joining us. But for now, everybody say goodbye.
Bye.